Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how social media affects relationships for the anxious, preoccupied individual. So, if you are not already familiar, obviously social media, especially dating apps or Facebook, Instagram, all this kind of stuff can have a massive impact on the anxious, preoccupied individual, a little bit more so than the other attachment styles. Here's a big reason why. Number one, I'm going to go through 5 sort of major reasons, but number one is that anxious preoccupieds often see social media, not always, but often see social media as a construct that represents how much care and loyalty is devoted towards the person. So for example, you could take a dismissive avoidant and an anxious preoccupied in a relationship together. And you may see that the anxious preoccupied has certain expectations for how much their DA partner will post photos of them together, a photo of them on their birthday, or comment on their pictures with hearts, with emojis, with comments in general, whatever it might be. And basically the AP will see this as like a sign of love, a sign of approval, public display of affection, of approval. Like, this is part of, if we're in a relationship and you really love me, you'll do these things. But sometimes what the AP doesn't realize is that their partner or loved ones have different ways that they interact with those platforms. So for example, we may see that like a dismissive avoidant doesn't like posting personal stuff because they're like, they have shame wounds sometimes, and they don't want to share their private world as much. And it makes them feel too sort of vulnerable by sharing private things. And they like to keep things sort of in private. And that's usually because of subconscious wounding that's literally resulting from emotional neglect in childhood that created shame wounds, that whenever we have shame, it's the emotion that makes us want to hide and sort of keep people at arm's length. And so sometimes the AP doesn't understand the other partner's internal relationship to why there's maybe a lack of posting or a lack of communication on that platform. So that can be a huge thing that really shows up in these relationship dynamics. And it's really valuable to like keep this in mind. Also, before I go through the next few things, if you are an anxious, preoccupied person and you're struggling in any relationship with a fearful avoidant, with a dismissive avoidant, or you just want to learn more about what it means to be with a secure person, I just created over the last couple months these very in-depth attachment style courses that talk about an AP with other attachment styles and relationships, and deep dives into like, what are the pain points that will come up if you're with a DA? What are the pain points that will come up if you're with an FA, etc. And allows you to go in through like the pain points, the needs, the communication, what each party needs to do to reprogram. So there's courses with like each of the attachment style interactions that you can check out for free as well for 7 days by clicking the link in the description box below. And you can check out, going into our webinar library, all the different courses that are there. They come with slides, and you can take notes from the slides and all that good stuff. But will really give you the tools you need to thrive and to make it through the potential rocky points of the relationship, and to be prepared in advance for like what may come up and exactly what you need to do to sort of mitigate those potential problems or challenges. So you can check those out. Okay, number 2 thing here is that sometimes anxious, preoccupied individuals will also judge their closeness to other people when they're starting to get to know them by how much interaction happens through social media, right? So like, how much communication is there on dating apps regularly? How much are you paying attention to what I've got going on social media? Because they see it as like an extension of who they are, and like their social life and their connections with others, and like their emotional bond. And so because APs very much like to share their relationships and share those intimate things with other people around them, they sort of tend to get a lot of their needs met for like attention and closeness through what they post on social media. Is this always the case? Absolutely not. Is there a pattern that leans in that direction? Absolutely. And another thing that's valuable to notice here too is that sometimes anxious, preoccupied, when they're not getting their needs met in a romantic relationship, sometimes they'll look for attention or validation from other people on social media to kind of fill that cup if they're feeling disempowered in the romantic relationship situation. And that's a fairly harmless thing. And APs do tend to be fairly loyal people in relationships, but sometimes to a certain degree, we'll see them maybe flirt with other people on social media or reach out to people. And it usually tends to go hand in hand with if they're feeling disempowered in the romantic relationship first. Again, that's not a one size fits all, just a pattern I've seen over the course of time in different relationship forms. Another big thing is sometimes APs can be really affected by their partner on social media. How is their partner showing up? Are they talking to other people on social media or liking their pictures or, things like this? And it can sort of build these like really deep seated sort of like fears and discomfort for the anxious, preoccupied individual with others that they're in a relationship with. And again, like all of these things that come up are calls for conversation, calls for communication, calls for like, it's time to sit down and have a conversation about boundaries, about expectations with posting on social media, just because you can air all this stuff out in advance and prevent you and your loved one from having to kind of go through this like the more difficult way. Another huge pain point of how APs tend to get affected by social media is they can have a big difficulty post breakup with checking social media, and they can also have a difficulty, not even just post breakup, but also like in a relationship with checking their partner's social media if they're not hearing from them. And again, these are solvable problems through communication. And also if it's post breakup, then an AP is struggling with social media and like checking their ex's profile and stuff like that. It's a call for like your subconscious mind is still trying to get certainty met by knowing what's going on in their life. And your subconscious mind is still trying to get connection met by staying in tune and in sync with knowing what's happening in their life on a daily basis. And when we have these outdated strategies to get needs met and we go through a breakup, we need to find updated ways of getting them met. Like, how can I get more certainty and more connection in my life in different forms and new forms, and really pattern those in at the subconscious and get comfortable with those new ways of getting my needs met more with friends and family, maybe certainty by having like a plan for my life or setting some goals. You know, what can I do to get those needs met in healthier forms that are conducive to me healing from the breakup instead of pulling me back in that direction? And also, or how to heal from a breakup course if you're going through a breakup at all, even if it's like from a situationship or just, you know, getting out of a dynamic in general that where you were dating somebody and you need extra support. The how to heal from a breakup course you can also check out by like clicking the link in the description box below. And when you go into the dashboard of PDS, you can check it out for free. Type in how to heal from a breakup and you'll see that course, which has a lot of supportive tools. So anyways, I hope this makes a lot of sense. People really asked a lot about like how social media affects relationships for APs. I hope this is very valuable to you. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.